Talking to myself now, not you. I'm sorry. You can do whatever you want to, because you're the guest. Allison
Yeah,
Sheridan, everybody. She's the guest. Take your shoes off. Walk around. There's stuff in the thing.
I
These are
don't have
things you.
shoes on.
These are things that you would say to guests if you actually had people
Had people over. I
over.
always
Yeah.
never have shoes on.
What? What?
I don't wear shoes
Uh,
unless I have to.
really? Interesting.
And
What about
like
pants?
running
I'm not trying to do a Jeff Gamet thing, but what about pants? Like, are you a shorts person
shorts,
around that? Really?
shorts.
Because I have found I'm doing sort of a Downton Abbey thing now. Not nearly as fancy,
What's
but
that mean?
well, it means that I dress for dinner.
So you wear fancy pants?
Well, I wear pants. I wear pants to dinner. Yeah, I mean, normally I'll wear like jogging shorts or maybe cargo shorts or something during the day. But going down to dinner, because we don't go anywhere or do anything anymore, so going to dinner, I feel like I should make an effort. And apparently, in the 21st century, just putting on a pair of pants qualifies as effort. Well, and a shirt. I'm going all out. Podfeet, by the way, Podfeet, Podfeet, at Podfeet on Twitter, podfeet.com if you want to see what's going on in the .com land. That's where you would also find about NosillaCast, NosillaCast. Tom Merritt was on last week, and I feel like we actually did not do a show because last week was the first week in, I don't know, maybe all of them that I didn't talk at all about Apple TV Plus.
Ah,
I feel like there's a hole, there's a rip in the space-time continuum. There's a need in me to talk about that at least 6 or 7 times a week if you count all the macOS Ken stuff as well. Biggest thing to happen to Apple TV Plus in a while, I think, unless you want to talk about the theoretical, because they have, of course, signed that deal for Emancipation, the Anton Fuqua-directed, Will Smith starring movie about the escaped slave in the 1850s, I think, that really sort of brought to the fore of the public consciousness the fact that slavery is bad. And 120 million they paid for that, and you can't even rent a camera right now because, of course, COVID-19. The biggest thing that's happened, though, as far as things that people have been able to see, is the Tom Hanks movie Greyhound, and I'm curious what you thought of it.
I didn't watch it. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not a war movie person. Steve
Okay.
wanted me to tell you that he watched it and he
No.
thought it was really good.
Yeah. He wasn't able to convince you that it wasn't actually a war movie because it's kind of a war movie. I mean, there's some stuff that happens that I will be honest is brutal, but to me, it's less of a war movie and more of a character study that happens to take place during a war.
He made me watch Saving Private Ryan,
Okay, that's a
and
war movie. That's a war movie. No,
right,
seriously.
right. But he still owes me 3 chick films for the guy that gets his arm blown off and then runs over and picks it up and starts carrying it. So he's behind it on this already. He's not going to get me to watch more war movies
It's been
if I can
20.
help.
Wait, it's been 22 years. He hasn't watched 3 chick movies with you yet.
Not really. He's
Oh
not big
man.
into on that.
That's. I feel like I want to do an intervention for one or both of you. Here's the thing. I'm not going to really tell you that it's not a war movie because there are a couple of things that happen that are brutal, but it is not. I think a lot of the comparisons to Saving Private Ryan have to do with, I mean, first of all, the way it was shot, and then also the fact that Tom Hanks is there. I did have a macOS Ken listener write in and say that he found similarities between the characters because in Saving Private Ryan, we don't know anything about Tom Hanks' past. I don't know if you remember, but that's actually a big part of it where they talk about, I heard he was a prison warden. I heard he was, all these different things. And then we find out who he is. We know almost nothing about the captain in Greyhound.
What is
Um,
Greyhound about then if it's not a war movie? It's a guy in the war and he's
yeah,
in charge.
as I said, it feels to me more like a character study. We're watching this guy. First of all, we're watching tour de force acting by Tom Hanks, and it sort
Yeah.
of gets tiring to say he's a good actor, but I felt like I was seeing better acting from him in this, maybe than I've seen in almost anything else he does, and it's because it's so understated. Did you see the movie Remains of the Day? Anthony Hopkins, Emma Thompson, Christopher Reeve.
No, I
Okay.
did not.
The acting in that movie, I think, is incredible. And the reason I think the acting in that movie is incredible is because something happens where Stevens, the butler, played by Anthony Hopkins, drops a glass. And he says, "Damn it." And seriously, I saw that in a theater, and everybody in the theater jumped when that happened, because he had been this certain character all the way through, and there was an understatedness all the way through the movie. And when that little thing happened, when that little moment happened, when that character broke, I mean, you realize you haven't been watching somebody passive all the time. You've been watching somebody on the verge of breaking. There was a thing that happened in this movie, and I won't tell you which part it is, but there's a thing that happens in this movie where all of a sudden I realized, as much as I thought that I had been on the edge of our seat because, oh, they're going to sink this ship or he's not going to be able to save these other people, I've been on the edge of my seat the whole time because of what's happening to that guy. And not like, oh, nothing bad happens to anybody else. Quite the contrary. So much bad stuff is going on around this guy, and he's the one thing keeping it from all falling apart. And there is just one very subtle moment that happens when you realize that made it to me. I mean, the more I think about that movie, the more impressed I am by it. What I really wish is that Apple had anything to do with it. I wish it told us anything about the kinds of shows that Apple, or the kinds of movies that Apple would go for, because for people who don't remember the story, this movie was not going to see the light of day anytime soon, because no movies are, because movie theaters aren't opening, people aren't going to them even when they do open, and so Apple paid $70 million to show it. But I'm really glad they did, because that and Hamilton have kind of made the summer.
I was just a Hamilton joke. Because I was going to say that I'm not actually looking for more TV to watch. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to watch less TV.
Yeah.
Because I'm writing like I'm running out of time.
Yeah. That's a Hamilton joke. I'm sorry, it took me a minute.
Look at me go. I had it already and queued up, and you just happened to toss it to me. But I'm trying not to watch TV. I'm actively going back up to my office after dinner and writing, and I'm learning to code, and I'm working on outlines for videos, for tutorials, for Screencasts Online. I feel like I'm running out of time, that I want to be productive, that I waste too much time, and I want to get more stuff done.
Yeah. I watched Greyhound because it was an event, and I also wanted to be able to talk about it for the Apple stuff. I watched Hamilton because it was an event, and because I'm sorry I didn't get to see it in the theater, in literally the theater, I didn't go to Broadway.
I watched it because it was an event.
Okay.
But it's about music and history.
Yeah, well,
and I hate both of those things, and I really liked it.
It's about history. It's a musical telling of history. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, the thing is, I seem to remember, and I need to go back and read more about it, or maybe I don't, because I really love Hamilton now. I really love Alexander Hamilton now because of Hamilton, and I seem to remember not liking a lot of his financial policies when I was reading history when I was younger. So maybe I want to check that out. Maybe I don't. I don't know.
That's on Disney Plus.
That's on Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah,
sure we can. It's fine. See, here's the thing. I keep giving stuff on Apple TV Plus a chance, and nothing really grabs me. I was really taken, and I was interested to see, in some of our notes back and forth before we started, you ended up going ahead and watching the series Defending Jacob.
Yeah.
Okay, because you had read the novel, and you were like, how are they going to make a series? It's like this long.
Yeah, and as I watched the movie, I started thinking I hadn't even read the book, because so much of it was, I mean, they had to pick a lot of stuff up to make a regular-sized novel into, 6 or 7 episodes?
8, I believe, yeah.
8? Yeah, so the basic plot is a young boy is killed, and the son of the district attorney, I think it is?
Assistant district attorney, district attorney something.
He was the ADA. Anyway, is accused of the crime. And the problem with the show is Jacob himself, the kid, is so freaking unlikable. I mean, every 30 seconds, Steve would just go, I hate him. I can't stand this kid. He's so obnoxious.
He was a bit difficult. Did they write him as likable in the novel, or did you just read it as, well, he's a kid, so you're supposed to like him?
I remember him being a benign character. I didn't have any emotional attachment to him. It was more about the father and his quest to try to prove his son innocent.
Yeah.
But it's so either my memory's really bad, which is also possible, or it was an unmemorable book. I didn't have much memory of it, and now that I think about the show, I don't even remember how it ended.
Well, that's kind of funny.
Spoil it for anybody. But...
I was going to say no spoilers, but then of course, yeah. So you don't remember, so that's fine. So does that mean it didn't make an impression on you? Because here's what I noticed when I was watching that. For the first time in a very long time, it became appointment viewing for me. like Thursday night, because I work until, the wee small hours of the morning. So by the time I'm done writing macOS Ken on Thursday night into Friday, the next version or the next episode of Defending Jacob would be on. So I would finish, I would post my show 2:33 in the morning, and then I would sit there and watch it because I was that into it. I was that enthralled.
No, I didn't. I will remember it for Chris Evans acting in it. I thought he was really tremendous. But nah.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I whether one of my symptoms of what's going on in the world is that nothing is catching me right now. I have not read a good book in 6 months easily.
Yeah.
Every book I read, I pick it up to read at night, and I can't remember what it was about.
Yeah.
It's just like blah blah blah. Oh, okay, it was about this.
Yeah, I'm reading Animal Farm right now.
Oh,
I know, it's so stupid. It's great. I love Animal Farm. I've read it like 3 times. It's a horrible thing to read right now. It's a horrible thing to read right now because I know how Animal Farm is going and I watch the news. So there's really no reason to reinforce that in my, quote, spare time, fantasy time, whatever.
No,
I gotta ask.
But I think back to Hamilton, the one odd thing that wraps into this is since I don't like music and I don't like history, the King's song is running as a constant thread in my head. It's not like an earworm. It's just sort of like the rhythm of the song is always there. I'm taking a shower. I can hear it. I'm talking to you. I can hear it. I'm walking the dog. I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's just always with me now, and I don't know what that is.
What's hysterical is that was true for me for the first several days, but now you say you can't get that tune out of your head. I can't remember how it goes, but please don't do it because I got to get through the rest of today because I know once it's there, it'll be there. I do have to ask you really quickly because... You also said in the notes that you and I were sharing earlier that you watched Mythic Quest because I made you.
Yes, at the end of the last episode, you were badgering me to watch Mythic Quest, and I said, I watched one episode and I hated it and it was stupid.
Okay.
And then I found out I hadn't seen any of Mythic Quest. It was some totally different show that I was thinking of.
Seriously? Okay, good.
So I watched it and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Excellent.
It was. Did we talk about this last time?
I don't think so.
But I liked it.
Okay, good.
I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I loved every character in it. What's the lead woman's name? The chief engineer, Polly or something? Poppy. Yeah. She was just spectacular.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Now, did you watch the quarantine episode?
Yes.
Good.
And that was really, really moving.
That tore me apart. It was beautiful.
Right
but yeah, exactly. I wonder if your problem with TV is, we could always do anything we wanted to, anytime we wanted to, and so it wasn't that big a deal to waste time watching a crappy show. Because here's the thing, something like Defending Jacob, I'm sort of like you are. It was like really good. It was like the best popcorn while I was eating it, I mean, it really it got me the way it was done. It's got a great cast. Chris Evans, as you said, J.K. Simmons, Michelle Dockery. I mean, it's a well done presentation, and it's gone. I remember how it ended. I remember a couple of key moments, but it's gone now. It doesn't stay with me the way that Hamilton did, or honestly the way that Mythic Quest does. I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Sherry Jones, her performance too.
Yes.
Sherry Jones.
Okay.
The lawyer.
Yes.
I love her.
She was fantastic. I wonder if it has to rise to a certain level at this point. Maybe because it has to be good enough to get your head out of,
Maybe it has to be funny, Ken.
Maybe it has to be funny. Maybe
all the miserable shows, we just have to put them away when miserable things happen to miserable people, So maybe it's fun that has to be there.
Yeah, maybe that's it. All right, cool. So I guess we can stop talking about almost all television now.